So today I'm gonna cook something and talk about some movies because I haven't said much about myself, but in addition to someone who analyzes movies, pop culture, what have you, I'm also a cook, baker. I've made smoothies professionally, various other food related things. And today I'm going to be making Harvey Girl special little thin orange pancakes from Vincent and Mary Price's A Treasury of Great Recipes. Yes, it's that Vincent Price, like horror icon Vincent Price of House on Haunted Hill and Edward Scissorhands and the creepy voice in the Thriller video. He also made a couple of cookbooks. This book is fascinating, and I'm going to have to do a video on it all by itself. But for today, I'm going to make the Harvey Girl Pancakes and talk about the movie Harvey Girls. You guys remember that? That time MGM made an inexplicable Judy Garland vehicle about a restaurant chain and the women who worked there? Co-starring Ray Bolger, who played Scarecrow with her in Wizard of Oz, and less than 10 years after making that movie was probably looking at Judy Garland and wondering, oh wow, what did this place do to you? Also starring a love interest who I cannot remember to save my life, and Angela Lansbury, beautiful young Angela Lansbury, who MGM typed as a bad girl, unbelievably, playing a dance hall madam who goes a little Heisenberg, stay out of my territory on Judy Garland's character and the rest of the girls, Harvey Girls. They were the waitresses at a chain of restaurants that went all up and down the train lines. And that in itself seems like a kind of strange concept for a movie, right? Except the Harvey Girls were kind of influential. I'll let Vincent say it. The Harvey Girls, as his waitresses were known, his being Freddie Harvey, are part of the folklore of the West, many of them marrying miners and prospectors who struck it rich and made grand ladies of the erstwhile hash slingers. Now that description, like the movie was about girls going out west to get married, the movie is actually a lot more about the adventurous spirit of thousands of single women who took these fairly hard jobs as an opportunity to get out of the cities that were packed and already polluted, and out of the and maybe into some more opportunities that the Midwest was already sort of denying them. Paid fairly well, and the room and board was covered, so even if they didn't, marry a rich miner and strike it rich, they could retire with a good amount of money. Today, I'm making their so I'm gonna turn on my griddle down to medium because I don't want anything to burn. And this is a recipe that, by the cookbook, actually includes a cup of pre-made pancake batter or pancake mix. It says to grate half of one orange. The juice of 2 oranges. So from that setup, I think would be kind of surprising to learn that that movie made money, but it did. That was not the only time MGM made movies about women settling the West. Um, how the West was, and the setup for that is one every family traveling the West. It tracks them from like 1840 to 1901. That movie or miniseries that Hollywood makes every 10 years or so. Um, how the West is won actually seemed to be mostly about two sisters who, after their parents were gone, winning the West alone. One of them, played by Carol Baker, winds up heading west um, all by herself, becoming a homesteader, which is not as unusual a tale as Western myth would lead us to believe. 1/5 of all homesteaders were actually single women or single moms. The other one, the other sister, played by Debbie Reynolds, bad one. She wears red petticoats, she sings, she gets abandoned. Hops on another wagon train, joins up with another single woman against the advice of the leader of the wagon train, who thinks she'll only cause trouble. Which is actually a setup that MGM had done earlier with Westward the Women. The owner of a ranch, the manager of a ranch, um, whose workers are lonely and need wives. He goes back east and he tries to find several hundred women willing to travel out west. And he starts off thinking that he'll have a horrible couple of months babysitting a bunch of useless women, which is something that a misconception that he is immediately challenged on, where he's like, how many of you can handle a gun? And then some random farm girl goes up there and shoots out the eyes of the picture in a political poster. I'm like, does that? On this trip are a couple of also what Hollywood would consider bad girls. They were showgirls, one of whom a recent immigrant, who want to travel west to escape their reputations. So they have to change out of their fancy city clothing to blend in because they don't want the other girls judging them. Okay, I got this pancake mixing up. They are orange. They smell great. Fire. His ranch. And his workers are, look at all these women. They're normal looking women who look dirty and tired, weirdly enough. Disappointed. So they get scolded by Robert Tyler, basically. Oh, Taylor basically tells them, hey, these women are also tougher than you, and the very least you could do is give them the time of day. Is one of the ones who steps up and says, okay, you can look us over, but don't think you're the one doing the choosing. These three movies about women conquering the West alone, Harvey Girls also, in addition to the Harvey Girls thing, Angela Lansbury's character, the type of women was pretty influential as well. Warehouse madams and their establishments, towns were built around them. Children in school, well, children. Children happened, they had to build schools and churches. So, yes. We have pancakes.
think it's a little interesting that Hollywood was slightly more interested in telling that